Our top story, Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew and Senior Minister Chok Tong have issued a joint statement saying that after a watershed general election, they have decided to leave the cabinet. Both men say the time has come for a younger generation to carry Singapore forward in a more difficult and complex situation. They say they have studied the new political situation and thought about how it can affect the future. They add that they have made their contributions to the development of Singapore, and the Prime Minister and his team of younger leaders should have a fresh, clean slate to engage with the younger generation in shaping the future of Singapore. Mr. Lee and Mr. Goh note that this younger generation wants several things: to have a non-corrupt and meritocratic government, a high standard of living, and to be more engaged in the decisions that affect them. But both men add that the younger team of leaders must always have in mind the interests of the older generation who contributed to Singapore and must be well looked after. Well, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has given his response to the decision taken by MM Lee and SM Goh this evening.
It's a major event for Singapore for two major figures like MM and SM to leave the government. It shows that they are thinking of Singapore and of the future of Singapore. I think the basic consideration is what is the best approach for forming a team which would be most effective in solving problems and establishing rapport and trust with the people going forward for the next 5 years.
Mr. Lee was speaking tonight after a post-election victory parade in Ang Mo Kio. He said he has not yet decided whether to accept their decision, but will likely give his answer by Monday. He adds that the move was initiated by both leaders, but he had known of their intention. He also said any decision he makes will affect his new cabinet lineup. Well, Senior Minister Goh says he will now have more time to devote to his Marine Parade GRC. He was writing in a post on his constituency Facebook page, M Parada.
A simple 5-line statement on Facebook to signal his departure. Mr. Goh said Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong can refresh his cabinet to forge a new Singapore consensus by rethinking policies and reshaping Singapore with fresh ideas. He said Team Marine Parade will build a consensus on creating the 4G home, which stands for a great home, as well as a gracious, generous and environmentally conscious people. Mr. Goh's status update posted online at around 6 p.m. drew more than 30 comments within the hour. Some, like Mr. Alex Goh, thanked the senior minister for his hard work these past decades. In response to comments on his thread, Mr. Goh said he is out of the government but remains as MP for Marine Parade GRC.
He has always been our leader and he continues to be a leader in our GRC. How will we benefit will be that, with more involvement, I think we can expect more things to be done. We can expect to be able to get more insights from him. Guidance will be given. And just for him to better connect even deeper than what it is now with the residents in his Marine Parade ward and also within the GRC.
Also responding on Facebook was the newly elected MP for Marine Parade GRC, Brigadier General Tan Chuan Jin. He said that it was with a very heavy heart that he sees this day. Marine Parade GRC residents were shocked by the announcement, but happy that Mr. Goh is staying on as the MP.
I just can't believe it. I
think it's good to let the younger generations take over. Since he already contributed many years.
Even though he's leaving the cabinet now, that is his decision. We appreciate that he is staying on MP to look after our estate.
Mr. Goh said he'll have more time to spend with residents, and this is something he has always enjoyed doing.
Mr. Chok Tong, who turns 70 next Friday, entered politics in 1976, then only 35, and was elected MP for Marine Parade. He left his job in Neptune Orient Lines, and in 1977, Mr. Goh was appointed Senior Minister of State for Finance in what was the start of a long political career. He held various portfolios, including important ones such as trade and industry, health and defence. Mr. Goh was sworn in as Prime Minister on 28 November 1990 after then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew stepped down to pave the way for leadership succession. He was the consensus choice of his cabinet colleagues. Mr. Goh stepped down as Prime Minister on 12 August 2004 to pave the way for leadership self-renewal. And the topic of self-renewal was one he often spoke about. Mr. Goh believed that preparing the fourth-generation leadership team was key strategy to secure Singapore's future. And he said that the current leadership transition is even more crucial than previous ones.
We need to have the best crew we can get, the competencies, the strategies, the unity, and the will to overcome crisis. So how successful we will be depends on how we respond to challenges and how we seize opportunities. If we adopt a passive approach, we'll be like a man lost in the wilderness without a compass. We'll end up walking in circles, going nowhere.
Mr. Goh has been senior minister in Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong's cabinet since he stepped down. In that role, he engaged the leaders of the Middle East and India to expand Singapore's ties with both areas.
Now, getting back to our top story, the announcement by Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew and Senior Minister Goh Tong that they are leaving the cabinet. Residents of MM Lee's Tanjung Pagar GRC have expressed their surprise tonight, but say they are glad that he will continue to be their MP.
I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah, I was just reading his new book this afternoon. I didn't expect him to be stepping down, and so soon after the election as well.
My take is we have to live forward, maybe with PM Lee instead of MM Lee at this stage.
Minister Mentor was a term coined specially for Mr. Lee in 2004, a description which reflects his role in office and a nod to his wealth of experience. Mr. Lee's role in shaping modern Singapore started from pre-independence in the 50s till today. He took a tough stand on many policies, from land acquisition for development to opening the doors to foreign talents. Having seen for himself how racial tensions can break a society, Mr. Lee dedicated himself to building a cohesive nation. In 1988, the Parliamentary Elections Act was amended to introduce group representation constituencies, or GRCs. Mr. Lee has always said the GRC system is to guarantee minority representation in Parliament. At least one minority candidate must be part of the team contesting a GRC. Leadership renewal has always been a key priority for Mr. Lee, who stepped down as Prime Minister in 1990. At a National Day dinner for his constituency, he said the country's leadership renewal process is very much like the systematic way the Singapore Armed Forces renews its ranks.
Every year, the SAF improves on what is done the last year. Every year, a new team takes over, and we have a regular succession of capable officers taking over. And that's the way Singapore has been able to maintain itself. Regular renewal of the leadership with younger people taking over decisive roles.
His decision to step down is perhaps a sign of the confidence in the country's leadership renewal process. In today's statement, Mr. Lee said he's stepping down to ensure that the Prime Minister has a clean slate of younger leaders in cabinet.
Meantime, MPs and grassroots leaders in Ang Mo Kio said they had not known Mr. Lee or Mr. Goh would step down, but many do not expect any major changes to overall policy direction. Some note that the PAP has been talking about the need for leadership renewal, and they see this as an example of walking the talk. And MP Inderjit Singh calls this a major turning point for Singapore.
Politics or cabinet without MM is something that we all never thought of. With MM stepping down and SM, this actually gives PM a clean slate to redraw his new cabinet. And I think this must have also been because of the messages that we got during this GE of people wanting to see a different approach.
MM and SM have done a lot for Singapore. I think we have to really appreciate what they've done for the country, what they've done for the government. They've set a very strong foundation, but I guess they decided that it's time for us to move ahead with the times, with the new generation of leaders.
And still to come on